Here's your in-depth weather for July the 11th, 2022, Monday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Afonte, and a lot of cloud coverage today. Didn't warm up that much. Now, the clouds didn't allow us to drop our temperatures as much either. We started off at Columbia Metropolitan Airport a low of 70 degrees. Again, our average high is 93. We hit a high of 84, and we weren't the only ones. If you look all throughout the Midlands, temperatures range from the upper 70s into the low to mid 80s. Now, the warm spot obviously was right in the heart of the Midlands. Even Bishopville, though, got it to 84, as well as Lexington and St. Matthews. Even with the cloud coverage, it was still a warm day, but the overall pictures all throughout the Palmetto State, temperatures were far below average. The cooler spot was about Walterboro at 75 for a high. Meanwhile, the hotter spots pretty much was in the central Midlands into the upstate, where highest for at least recorded temperatures when you got up to the PD Florence got up to 86 degrees. A comfortable day? Yeah, it was humid, but it was a far cry of what we dealt with, especially starting 2 weekends ago and pretty much all of last week. From Saturday 2 weeks ago all the way to this past Saturday, temperatures were in the low to mid 90s. That was just the air temperature. The average high temperature this time of the year is the hottest. We should be at 93, but keep in mind that last week many areas, not only in the Midlands, but statewide, hit heat indexes that were well over 100 to 105 degrees on the low end. Now, the weather setup that we had for today into this evening, a lot of cloud coverage, no rain. All the rain was well south into areas from Hilton Head Island down to Brunswick, Georgia. The front pushed down that way, but with very little wind expected tonight and with all the moisture in place, especially at the lower levels, granted it didn't rain, it is going to be very humid, and with no wind, that stagnant air is going to cause possibly some dense fog. In the morning before sunrise, especially in points south of Interstate 20, all the way down through the eastern and southern Midlands, and especially into the low country and coastal areas of the Grand Strand, dense fog, visibility of a mile or less. It'll start breaking up and dissipating by the time we get to about 8, 9 o'clock, and then at that point, all throughout the Midlands, we're going to have a lot of cloud coverage. There is a possibility for some isolated storms that may pop up in the middle of the afternoon in the southern Midlands. The best chance for pop-up showers and thunderstorms with all the moisture in place will be primarily along the coastline and coastal inland from the low country to the Grand Strand. It's not going to last that long, and any showers and storms we have, at least in the Midlands, will not last too long. Along the coastline, again, same thing. It's not going to last too long. Most of us will just stay mostly cloudy all throughout the day. As we get into Wednesday early morning, again, some isolated showers primarily in the low country into the Grand Strand inland, but otherwise, with the Midlands, Wednesday morning, we're going to stay mostly cloudy once again. The forecast, with that cloud coverage, temperatures are expected to be in the low to mid 70s. Points along and east of I-95 in eastern Orangeburg and Clarendon County may have lows in the upper 60s. And keep in mind, it's going to be hot again tomorrow. Southwesterly flow, a lot of humidity in place. There's a chance for isolated pop-up storms, high temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. But keep in mind that with that southwesterly flow, the air is going to be very saturated, and regardless of whether it rains or not, the heat indexes, again, is going to be a big issue. We're looking at heat indexes in the mid to upper 90s. Once again, we're going back to the way it was, where temperatures is not really the big factor. The heat index in the afternoon and in the shade is going to be the biggest thing. Now, this broad area of high pressure, we've dealt with this many times over the last several weeks. The high pressure parks itself right over the lower Mississippi River Valley. All the moisture goes wrapping around it through the Ohio Valley and into the Carolinas over the Appalachians. But this front here, at least on the short end, we're watching this very carefully because I'll notice all the showers and thunderstorms earlier today into the evening was along the Florida-Georgia line, but the stationary boundary extended all the way into Texas. But that area of low pressure that's over the Pensacola, Florida area, that's what we're going to be watching, because the National Hurricane Center, at least for now, has got a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days, a 10% chance within the next 48 hours. But the key thing is that you can see there is a lot of moisture in the Gulf that is moving south. A little bit of it is moving north, but the key thing is that regardless of development, all of that moisture is eventually going to start pushing more towards the north and northeast, impacting areas from Alabama all the way through the Carolinas. And as that pushes through with high pressure pushing further south, that moisture is going to get trapped right over the Carolinas and Georgia, and that means that we're going to be expecting quite a bit of rainfall. There is a possibility on Wednesday, a marginal risk that we could see some strong, maybe severe storms. If anything is severe, the primary threat is going to be damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. The real concern, though, is going to be the rainfall. There is an marginal risk for excessive heavy rainfall in most of South Carolina, and it covers all of the Midlands, in which we could see rainfall totals as they move through anywhere from over 2 inches to nearly 2.5 to 3 inches of rainfall. And this is going to be a continuing, ongoing complex that is just going to give us quite a bit of rainfall. So on Wednesday, the key message is that we're going to reach a high of 92 degrees, the potential of a heat index of 105, and again, a marginal risk for strong, maybe severe storms with heavy rainfall. Thursday, high temperature of 87 degrees. With that boundary still in place and all the moisture of the Gulf, we're still looking at heavy rainfall potential. The showers and thunderstorm chances are going to continue Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With that cloud coverage and the rain, it'll be very humid, but we're looking at a high of 86 degrees on Friday, 88 on Saturday. Sunday, we're looking at widely scattered storms still with a high of 85. But as we get into Monday, still a chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Temperature of 89 degrees for a high, but very likely heat index is going to be closer to about 94 to 97 degrees. And that's your in-depth weather for July the 11th.